If you had to pick, this is a question we ask of many people. If you had to pick a dead scientist to bring back and to sit down and have a beer with, who would you pick and what would you talk about?
It has to be George Bartholomew.
Yay!
Good choice.
I mean, yeah, he would be, the grandfather of comparative physiology, sort of all sorts of interesting topics to talk about. So,
yeah. So, what do you think he would think about modern biology?
He'd probably be disappointed that a lot of the old stuff has gone missing. You review papers these days, and science started in 2000. And it's like, no, you need to go back and read stuff from the 50s and the 60s. So, yes, I think that would be a little bit disappointing. There's so many things that have, been discovered that's like, no, this was actually done in the 50s, 60s. So, yes, I think he might be a bit disappointed in that, but I think he'd be really, impressed that his tree has grown dramatically. I mean, so many of us are a branch on the tree or a sub-branch on a tree, so... Yeah, I think that would
be fun to have him sitting there in the audience for the Bartholomew Award at the SICB conference.
Yep.
Do you think there's a technique that's come out since he passed, or a study area that he'd be particularly excited or upset about? I mean, you sort of alluded to the fact that we don't talk about the old literature, so maybe we've covered that area. But is there something that something specific he'd go for?
Probably just the opportunities that some of the new technology now provide. So, you can ask the same sorts of questions, but you now have fantastic opportunities to, have smaller and smaller data loggers and implants and some of that technology, GPS technology. So that I think that opens up lots of opportunities for us to ask more questions or to get more precise data on old questions.
Yeah. Okay. So switching gears a little bit, tell us about a non-science hobby that you have.
Photography.
Ah, okay.
I'm a very keen but very poor photographer, but I really enjoy it.
Awesome. What are your subjects?
Animals.
Biology next to that. Have you had any of your photos show up on journal covers or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, I'll get the odd journal cover, couple of Ecological Society calendar inserts, but that's about it. I'm not real good at it, but I enjoy it.
It's much better than I'd be able
to.
And
actually, I enjoy the process probably more than the result. So it gives you a good excuse to sit there and hang out with an animal for 2 hours. So you might sit there with an echidna for 2 hours taking photos, whereas normally you'd look at it and go, oh, that's nice, and move on. So I think I enjoy the process more.
Yeah. So you're one of those people out there with a giant long lens?
No, I have a lot of lens envy. So I'm a 300 mil, a cheap lens.
I'm into photography myself, and I've been drooling over lots of equipment recently, and it would just completely break the bank if I went for it. So I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Is there a particular photo that you're particularly proud of? I mean, it could be the outcome, but it could also be, like you say, the process of what you had to go through to get it, or.
Not really one in particular. So it's a mix because some of the better photos are not the ones that you worked the hardest for or went to the most exciting place. And the really frustrating thing is that my husband, who usually carries my spare camera that I'm not using at the time, gets bored and starts snapping pictures and takes a better picture than I did. So most of the best photos that we have are the ones that he's taken while he's been bored and just playing with my spare camera that he's holding for me.
That's great.
Which is pretty funny.
It's your camera. I think it counts. I think you could get some credit for that.
It's like, here, hold this while I use this, and he'll be like, oh, click, 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 and it's like, oh.